You guys are the co-authors of a book called Convince Me: High Stakes Negotiation Tactics to Get Results in Any Business Situation. The great thing about your book and both of y'all specialties is I think the skill set that you guys bring to bear can apply in basically any business situation, any governmental situation, any family situation. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like, I've had some high stakes negotiations with my wife. I want to hear like some tricks to make sure that I'm better when I'm talking to my children and stuff like that. When I'm talking to my adversaries as a lawyer. So tell us right up front, and Adele or Chip, either one of you can jump in anytime you want. What are the one or two or three most important things when we are talking about a high stakes negotiation situation? Like if you could give people just one, two or three, or just a few bits of advice about the most important things, what would you tell them?
The one thing I would say is don't go it alone, right? I think most people walk into a negotiation situation and they're armed and ready with a response. And I think that that's the wrong perspective. And I can tell you, like in our business, when Chip and I have clients, especially people in crisis situations, and they're in need of help, my role is typically to take them through what actions they need to complete immediately, right? Like what are the next 5 steps you need to do to save your reputation, your company, your ROI? And it's Chip's job to watch people's reactions to my advice. And so if I didn't have him, and I didn't for many years before when I had the agency, I would often just kind of like give the advice and like hope people would listen and hope people would do it. Right. As like,
Yeah,
as a lawyer, right. Sometimes you got to deliver some bad news and stuff people don't want to hear.
sure.
And so what Chip would do is we'd get off the phone and we would debrief just like you would in any negotiation situation, especially as an attorney, right? And he would say, hey, when you mentioned step 3, the guy in the left corner, he hated that idea because he winced.
Nice,
Or
nice.
like, right? So like, you need someone else in negotiation situations. So that's one of them. The second thing is certainty is the biggest barrier to convincing, right? Your belief that you know something for certain is your biggest barrier to be convinced of anything. And someone else's belief that they know everything for certain is your biggest barrier. So it's really your job to never, ever start with your strongest point first. It's your job to figure out what is the point of agreement and then move people down what we call a convincing continuum so that you can convince them more of your ideas. And there's an absolute process and ways at which we do it in the book, and some resources available on our website at convincingcompany/lessons, that people can go on and get some of this information. But that's what I would say. I would say, don't go to a negotiation alone, and understand that someone else's certainty is where you need to start any type of convincing strategy.